Let me know when you're recording, Val. We're good? Okay, we got the thumbs up from cameraman Charlito. We got the thumbs up from assistant cameraman Valour. Welcome to the Playa Venao show. Sitting next to me is Ben. My name is Mo. And we could not be happier to be back on this broadcast.
Yeah.
It's been a minute.
It has been.
It's been a couple of weeks.
A month and a half-ish.
Yeah, about that.
But for good reason.
Absolutely for good reason. There's always something going on in Playa Venao, and what was going on with us is we had to leave for a month because we went up to Oregon to get Charlie's sister, my daughter, and your friend from college, bring her down to our place in Oregon and get her ready to start up the following year at Oregon State. So I want to say hello to my daughter up in Oregon. Hello to all of our family in Oregon. Hello, Jennifer. Hello, everybody. But yeah, we're back in Playa Venao.
Awesome. Yeah, and all the best to Maggie. That's super exciting.
Yeah, Oregon, the trip was amazing. It was beautiful. It was springtime. It was amazing. And it was just what we needed. Got back to Playa Venao, and Playa Venao changed significantly from when we left, just even with that short month.
What were the biggest changes that you saw in that little stint of time?
Well, when we left Playa Venao, it was still a dry season. We hadn't had a really good rain. Oh, look, we got our little cat doo-doo right there. Hello, kitty. So it was still the dry season in Playa Venao. And then when we got up to Oregon, we thought it was going to be a lot warmer. Traditionally, it's very warm in Oregon in May, and we were wearing sweatshirts and jeans and sweatpants probably the first 10 days, and then summer showed up, and it was like, oh yeah, this is what makes the place so special. But
nice.
It was a perfect time to be in Oregon. There was no forest fires, no smoke. It was beautiful. It was really beautiful. And
it's amazing.
Since we got back, it was kind of brown and tannish when we left Panama because it hadn't rained. And we come back and there's been some rainstorms and it is green and beautiful and you could taste the oxygen, you could taste the air.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
So I might be wrong in this, but I thought someone told me that last year, because we didn't get a ton of rain or like the usual amount of rain here in Panama, that this year was something called like a La Nina year, like the Nina year or something like that, where you're going to get a lot of rain. And boy, oh boy, I think we've got almost, more than we have last year in this last month. Man, it rained a lot.
I had heard when we were gone, it rained for 3 days straight.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Well, it did. It rained for 3 days straight. And, when you're used to getting outside every day, we still got outside. It's just different, right? But yeah, like you said, everything in those 3 days just went, the grass is taller, everything's green. It doesn't take long for anything that was brown just to, turn completely green. So it was pretty wild watching it,
I got to ask a clarification because for as long as we visited Panama, lived in Panama, it's rained. It's rained pretty hard, but it's gone in an hour or two. Yeah. So when people say it rained 3 days straight, was it like just raining for 3 days like that? Or was it like rain, like just coming down?
Yeah, it was kind of weird. You'd get your so it'd be like a steady rain all day with certain spots in the day where it did just come down, like just, coming down. Then it would slow type thing. But just constant precipitation coming from the sky.
Holy smokes.
I tried to explain to my parents, I said, when we used to say, it's raining buckets outside, I said, well, here it literally rains buckets. I think we have a garbage container that's about up to my, my waist high. Uh-huh. And within a couple of hours, that thing was full. And it's like, so that kind of gives you an idea of the amount of precipitation that came down in such a short amount of time,
That's awesome.
Yeah, there's just waterfalls starting places where there weren't waterfalls, and it's a different type of rain. It's definitely your tropical kind of rainforest, jungly rain type thing, which is kind of cool to watch, and you see these storms coming in over the ocean, and you're just like, oh man, here she comes, and you kind of watch Mother Nature do her thing. Yep. So, yeah.
That's so interesting because, like, you get kind of a false sense of security in the dry season.
Yeah.
Meaning that you can leave your windows cracked a little bit. You can go to some places without an umbrella.
Yeah.
Like you can, it's pretty easy. But in the rainy season, you better have an umbrella relatively accessible.
Yeah.
And if you're going to be hanging out by rivers in the rainy season, you better have a little bit of knowledge of that river, because if you're trying to, I have a truck and my truck can go through some rivers, can drive across some rivers. But in the rainy season, the start of the rainy season, I'm not driving my truck near rivers too much because I can't afford to have my truck get stuck in the river.
Yeah, yeah.
And my Spanish isn't good enough to, call for help if I really got in trouble that way. So I'm pretty tame around the rivers come rainy season.
Well, it's interesting you say that too, because we were in Boquete on our way here.
Okay.
And we were swimming in the river by some waterfalls with the kids. And some lady came by and she goes, "Oh, you may not want to be in there right now. It's starting to rain up the mountain." And I thought, okay, well, what does that have to do with us here? And she said, "Oh my goodness, you'll be amazed. If it rains up the mountain," she goes, "all of a sudden," she goes, it flows down before you even know it. You don't even have time to react. And I said, "Really?" And sure enough, we got out and it was raining. And man, within like 5 minutes, that river turned from just this nice little stream into a gushing freaking river.
Oh, wow.
Oh man, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Wow, a friendly citizen.
Yeah, just, she never said it, she was just like, "Hey, you may not want to be in there, it's starting to rain." And
wow.
I didn't know that it was that serious, but I was like, holy smokes. And I guess people, you can get taken down the rivers if you're not aware. So even if it's not raining where you're at, you might want to look up top and go, "Oh, it looks a little dark up there. There could be something going on." So a little tip that I found out.
Yeah, and listen to the people that live here.
Heck
like,
yeah,
people want to help you out.
Yeah.
They don't want you to have a miserable time.
Right.
They don't want to put unnecessary stress on doctors or nurses.
That's it. Yeah.
So,
so it was
if
a great
somebody
tip.
gives you good advice, take a breather and take it, I guess.
Yeah.
I know that's
I was very grateful for
super
that.
wise. That is super wise.
I was grateful for that.
I'm a little twitchy with rivers and my truck because my truck did get stuck in a river trying to pull another truck out of a river. So that truck got my truck, and then we had to get a third car to get me out, and then myself and the third car were able to pull the big Toyota Land Cruiser out. But it can be a little bit scary out there.
Gnarly, yeah.
If you don't have the right support network or the right knowledge. It just so happened that the people that we were working with, like one was a retired firefighter captain, so he had a lot of experience with rescuing different types of machinery and people and everything else.
No,
but
that's good. That's good.
if you're just a novice, kind of don't know what you're doing, beginner, tread lightly.
Yeah. Know
that's
the
right.
landscape, and if you don't, ask questions. There's nothing wrong with asking questions.
Yeah,
And,
people want to help you.
That's it. So, but yeah, definitely has changed seasons here, and water is the big difference.
Yeah.
You're gonna get your big waterfalls now, and you're gonna get your grass and your plants growing. This is the time to plant anything if you have land. You want to be putting your plants in the ground now because this is when they're going to grow the most type thing.
Yeah, and that's good that you bring that up, because that'll get the plant nice and strong, the roots nice and strong for that long dry season that they got to go through.
Yeah, and good luck planting it in the dry season. I mean, the ground can be like cement.
It is. That's a man. Gardening tips with the Playa Venao show.
Yeah.
Get your plants in right now. Charlie and I were just doing some landscaping out at our place, and we started to see like our little hibiscus bushes coming in from the seeds that dropped.
Yeah.
And it's so cool. Like, I'm gonna have a nice little row
Yeah.
of hibiscus bushes coming from the plants this year.
For
Maybe
sure.
we'll probably have a picture for the fans.
Dude,
Our 50 fans in the next couple of weeks or so. But
People get super stoked when the plants they put in start growing, and I don't blame them. I mean, it's so cool. All of a sudden you're like, I remember when that was whatever, and now it's giving us bananas or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, it's the best.
Mangoes or whatever it would be. So yeah.
So what else can we share with the audience? What else can we share with the audience regarding?
Yeah, man. Well, while you guys were gone, there was a surf competition.
Okay.
At Trico's Safari Surf School there. which it was during those 3 days of all rain.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which made the surf competition pretty gnarly, because
were guys out there in the water,
Yeah,
they were catching waves with
it's
it?
like the show's got to go on type thing. So
Nice.
it was kind of cool because you saw these surfers adapting to kind of this bad weather,
Uh-huh.
So they're surfing some stuff that may not be the best, but people were getting out there and they're still trying to catch it in their 15-minute time slot. And so that was really cool to be a part of and watch. And a good group of people came out to participate in that. And right now, in the next 20 days, we're heading to Florida with a big group of Playa Venao kids for the Pan American Jiu-Jitsu Championships, which is basically like the World Championships for Jiu-Jitsu for kids. So the kids have been training super hard. In these next 20 days, they're going to be training super hard. And it's the first time that Playa Venao Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu has brought a team of kids to a big tournament
my
like
goodness.
this. So yeah, they've got their sponsorships. They did a really long sponsorship run where a bunch of businesses from Playa Venao and individuals and stuff sponsored these kids in their journey, and they've been training super, super hard. I mean, a lot of these kids are training like professional athletes would train, and we're all just so proud of them and excited to see how they represent Playa Venao Jiu-Jitsu in Florida.
So when I was watching the hill run on Saturday, for the audience members, there's a hill run on Saturday that a lot of the kids participate in. That hill run was for those kids that were going to that particular Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu tournament.
Yeah, and they try to do an open mat right after, so you kind of get used to being tired and then having to roll or do your match type thing. So that's part of the little training regime that they've been putting on for these kids. But yeah, it's going to be super fun. It's going to be a really cool way to do jiu-jitsu as a team, it's really cool for a small little, beach town to be bringing that many kids. I think we have 10 kids in total who are going to be competing. Yeah.
And the kids, and the ages of the kids that are competing as young as
actually our youngest son, Valour, 6.
So from 6 years old.
Yep.
Up to
I think Galia is the oldest, and I think 14.
Charlie,
you can fight
Charlie,
up to
how old is Galia? 12, 13?
Okay. Well, I think Dylan's 13 then. But I think you can do it up until about like 15, 16. And then you start getting into the adult categories. But this is just a kids tournament. So there's no adults competing. It's just kids, which makes it really cool. So man, it's going to be a great time. I mean, we're all excited to see these. They all have really great jiu-jitsu, and it's going to be excited to watch.
So it's in Florida.
In Florida, Kissimmee, Florida. Yeah.
Kissimmee, Florida, and
26th, 27th, and 28th. So they can fight on either one of those days. So some kids are going to fight on the Friday, some on the Saturday, some on the Sunday.
And it's kids from Canada, the U.S.,
all over. Yeah.
Mexico, Panama,
everywhere.
Costa Rica,
Brazil, you name it.
Brazil, this is high level.
Yeah, you get a lot of
kids.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, so it's
that's
super
so awesome. I wish I was going.
Yeah. It's super
next
fun.
year.
For sure, yeah.
I'll be somebody's cut man next year. If anybody needs like a cut man or like a hype man in the corner.
Dude, we'll do
I'd
the
be
Playa
happy to
Venao
do it.
show next year at Pan Kids, maybe.
Oh, that would be
awesome.
great.
Yeah.
So I did hear something about a fundraiser for this tournament. I was aware of the tournament, audience members, because I'm in the adult jiu-jitsu class, and the adult jiu-jitsu class kind of mixes with the kids' jiu-jitsu class. And there was a fundraiser for these kids to get up to Florida, because it's expensive to fly everybody to Florida, and the accommodations, and it's summertime, so it's peak accommodations for the hotel. It's very, very expensive, and God bless this community for doing fundraisers to help this. But the fundraiser that I heard about, and I heard it was wild, was the dodgeball. The dodgeball fundraiser. I heard the dodgeball fundraiser was amazing.
It was.
Please tell us about the dodgeball fundraiser.
Man, it's almost hard to explain. So it was more than what we visioned in our head, but it turned out just so much fun. So, you picture the movie Dodgeball, and you're like, oh, it'd be really cool if it was like that, where you have teams show up and they all have their own different personalities.
Okay.
And they come in different outfits.
They did that, didn't they?
And so I think we thought, okay, we have 10 teams showing up. Well, in our minds, we thought, okay, just the team of 4 or 5 is going to show up. So about 50 people, whatever.
Okay.
And the teams will go on, and the other teams watch the teams. Well, man, we had families showing up, extended family of families showing up. Everyone wanted to see this dodgeball tournament. So Professor and I show up about, 10 minutes prior, thinking we'll get set up, and there's a lineup all over.
Oh my God, it was the Super Bowl of dodgeball.
And we both look at each other and we go, oh God, this is a lot bigger than So we're walking in, and we had teams from Pedesee. There was a team called Dead Sandwich from Pedesee. God bless them. They show up and they got these short little pink shorts on. These like shirts kind of like mine, but they're white. They got their pink bandanas on.
Oh, dang.
And every time they step on the mats, the place went wild.
Dude, shout out Dead Sandwich,
shout out to
Pedesee.
Dead Sandwich. You guys made it absolutely amazing.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And yes, then you had your all Israeli team from Shikogi. You know what I mean? The surf team. And then you'd have, the Dead Sandwich team, which is like, some middle-aged to older guys type thing from Pedesee, and they're coming out. So it was kind of like, it almost looked like your American team or something, right?
Really?
And then you had Scott from WOW. Thank you, Scott. He was able to get like 5 teams from his
smokes, from his organization.
Yeah, to come out. So he had a whole bunch of WOWs. He'd have like WOW Gold and WOW Platinum and stuff like this. They're all different characters.
So Scott had he had like a league within a league almost.
Scott's team won.
Oh,
so, yeah.
Okay.
So Scott's super pumped, and I'm pretty sure he's making a plaque that says Playa Venao Dodgeball Champions at this 2024. And he wants to keep this an annual thing, and there's a lot of people who want to keep it an annual thing going, why haven't we done this before?
Oh, that is so brilliant.
It was super fun. I think for the organizers putting it on, they're almost just like, oh my gosh, like we'd have to do some things differently.
Yeah.
But honestly, overall, there was a few little hiccups with some competitiveness.
Yeah, I heard that it was super competitive.
Yeah.
I heard that it was very competitive to the point where we all had to take a deep breath.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's awesome.
Yeah.
Like, that just tells me that this community needs an annual or semi-annual dodgeball tournament.
Yeah.
About once every 6 months.
It was super fun. And we had
so
commentary
great.
like this. We had the mics set up, and Professor and I dressed up, if you haven't seen the movie, like the dodgeball commentators on dodgeball. So he was Cotton.
Man.
And I forget the guy's name, but we would be commentating as it's going on type thing, which was super fun. If you were back, that was going to be your job for sure.
Oh, dang. Next year.
Next year.
Next year, we'll definitely be here for next year for
But
that.
man, as fun as it was and how it turned out bigger than we thought, it was really cool to see all these people showing up. Most of them probably didn't even know what jiu-jitsu was. They're showing up though, and they heard that there were some kids in the community who needed to get somewhere to showcase their skills for this small town, and people showed up, and they showed up in the drones, and it was just a fun time. It was so awesome to see, and I think it was really encouraging for the kids. The jiu-jitsu kids were there, and they saw everyone show up, and I think it was really encouraging for them to see all these people supporting them and behind them. So that was really cool. Yeah.
One more reason why you got to calm down and visit Playa Venao.
For sure.
One more reason why this, I think, is one of the best places in the world to live.
Yeah, it's super
we
special.
have to protect this place.
Yes.
We have to protect this place because it's just such a beautiful spot.
Yeah.
Oh man, we had a stand-up comedy night on the beach this last weekend.
Yeah.
And it was so much fun to see, stand up on the beach. Hats off to those comedians that really participated. Thank you so much for coming out here.
Yeah.
And I was able to make some contacts at that thing. So coming up on the show, we have Frederick. I want to wait for that truck to go by. So coming up soon on the show, we're going to have Freddie Lacoste from the Surf Dojo.
Yeah.
He's one of the originals in Playa Venao. So we're going to be interviewing Frederick Lacoste here very shortly.
Yes.
In the next couple of weeks. We're going to be interviewing Alexis from Merci Venao, the clothing boutique.
Amazing, yeah.
She's committed to an interview. I thought we could interview her within the store.
Yeah.
There's going to be some really great intervieys.
We got Algis from Beach Break.
Algis from Beach Break. I cannot wait to talk to him.
Yeah.
Because I think he's got a very interesting story.
For sure.
And he's an extraordinary guy.
And being Panamanian, growing up here, and he would have been on this beach before any of this,
Yeah.
So that's a really cool story to hear about.
Yeah, he was here before all of us.
Yeah.
So we have Alfiq. We're going to be interviewing him. So thank you if you're tuning into us again. Thank you for staying tuned. Thank you for being patient with us. And we have some really, really fun and interesting community members that we're going to be interviewing. I want to interview Trico.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just so many people I still want to interview.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, like right now, hopefully this broadcast gets up in time, but we also have the Radio Venao party going on right now.
Yeah, that's going to be going on this weekend.
That's going to be happening this weekend.
That's
so
right.
I can't wait for it to have you tell us about that,
Yeah, right?
after it's all done. There's always great stories after Reactor and Radio Venao and stuff. So
For sure.
if you're kind of wavering on whether you should book a trip down here, book a trip down here.
For sure.
And it's not going to rain your entire trip. It's going to rain for like an hour or two.
That's it.
Late in the evening, or maybe it might rain for an hour during the day, but then you're going to have a beautiful sunny day like right now.
Well, I'll tell you what, Sue, when it does rain, you're getting wet anyways. We were still out there surfing.
Yeah.
Actually, and to be quite honest, some of the best surf can happen when it rains. It just glosses over the water and you have some good surf. So you know what? You're going to get outside either way and enjoy yourself. So
yeah. Well, listen, I can't wait to resume our interviews and stuff like that. I'm going to go use the restroom, but while I go use the restroom, I think Charlie's going to take my spot.
Amazing.
And he can tell you a little bit about what his thoughts on Oregon and Playa Venao and stuff like that.
You get to see the man behind the camera.
All right. So coming up next, we got Charlie the cameraman.
Awesome. What's up, Charlie?
Hot.
It is hot over here. I'm getting a good glisten. I'm not going to call it sweat. I'm going to call it like a glistening going on. So how's it going?
Good. It's doing pretty good, yeah.
So you just came back from Oregon after living in Panama for, I don't know, almost a year prior to going back, or 6 months or something like that? I don't know.
Yeah, like 6 months.
Yeah, so every so often you guys go back to Oregon.
Yeah.
You're how old now? 15?
14.
14?
Yeah.
So, going back to North America after being in Panama, what are some things that you did enjoy about going back to Oregon?
I really like playing a lot of tennis. I really like seeing a lot of my family members, my sister, of course, my mom, grandparents. Seeing Eastern Washington was pretty cool with all like the hilly and the mountain areas and stuff. And,
Nice.
But I really found like a new joy for tennis and pickleball, that type of stuff. But yeah, it was pretty cool.
We were talking about that. We need a good tennis court. If anyone's listening to this, they want to do a tennis court in Venao, it would go down really well, and we would have some players for sure. Maybe even we can get Mr. Mo and you to put one in. That'd be pretty cool. That'd be really awesome.
That'd be great.
And yeah, we have pickleball in Kanya, so you guys can you guys were playing that today, right?
Yeah, from 8:30 to about 10:30. I think almost every day of the week, but yeah.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Yeah.
Okay, now on the flip side, what are some things that you missed or didn't enjoy about being back in North America?
I missed a lot of surfing. That was really cool. I missed jiu-jitsu. There's some jiu-jitsu gyms up there, but I felt like I was a little bit too busy and going to Washington and doing all that, so I don't think it was really worth paying a month membership for that.
People surf in Oregon, it's just you weren't kind of near the water.
Yeah, it's cold.
Yeah, it'd
Very
be super cold, right?
But,
I've talked to a lot of surfers here, and they say, like, yeah, where they're from, we surf, but they're like, it's so cold, like, being here is so nice because you can surf without freezing your butt off all day, right?
And without a wetsuit, yeah.
Yeah, and without wetsuits, so, yeah, that would be something that you would miss because you surf a lot here, so were you kind of, like, itching to get back in the water, or was it something that was on your mind, or you were just happy once you got back you could get in the water?
I was happy once I got back to get in the water. Me and my dad, again, I don't know why, but we were playing a lot of street tennis, and it was pretty funny sometimes.
Yeah.
We'd get a little bit too competitive. But
Well, I can't see that at all. I can't see that happening.
Yeah.
That's kind of nice that you had something to kind of take the spot of, the surfing and jiu-jitsu here. Because, yeah, I think I would go a little bit crazy, or stir crazy, I should say, if I didn't have something to kind of take the spot. But that's kind of nice. You're able to pick up a new sport, or at least pick up a sport that you had done before and enjoyed. And you got to see your sister off to college and see your family and friends and stuff like that. That's super cool.
yeah.
I'm looking forward. We go back for the Kids Championships, and we go back for a week, and it'll be nice seeing family too. So, Charlie, we want to thank you for all of your hard work behind the camera. Charlie's always the guy running the camera, and it's not always the funnest job or the easiest job. So we just want to thank Charlie. He's a great kid, and
Charlie's a great kid.
yeah, there you go. And so.
Val, you want to go say hi to the camera? You want to go say hi to your dad on?
Yeah, we're gonna bring up a little one now.
All right.
This is my son Valour. Valour, why don't you say how old you are?
6.
6 years old. And Valour, what are some of the sports you do in Playa Venao?
I do soccer,
Soccer,
surfing,
surfing,
and jujitsu.
and jiu-jitsu. And Valour, you have a pretty big tournament coming up here in about 20 days. Do you want to talk a little bit about that? How are you feeling about that coming up?
Good.
Yeah? Are you nervous at all?
Be on my ear.
Be on your ear? It's because you're so sweet. Ha 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 ha. Are you a little bit nervous for your tournament?
Mm-hmm.
A little bit? That's okay.
Thank you.
Val, you've been training really hard. What's one of the things that you've been training
On.
on? Yeah, what's one of the things you've been doing? One sec. What's that?
Look at the camera, Val.
Oh yeah, Val, look at the
De La
camera.
Hiva.
Yeah.
De La Hiva.
De La Hiva guard. Yeah, cool. That's really good. You've been learning that. And Val, what are one of the things you do on the weekend to get really strong for your matches that you do with Mr. Mo and I?
Hill runs.
Hill runs. Yeah, we run up the hill and then we go and we do our jiu-jitsu. And Val, what do we do after our hill runs and jiu-jitsu to help heal our body?
Open mat.
After open mat, what do we get into? That's
Oh, ice bath.
ice bath.
Ice
Valour
bath.
likes to do his ice baths too,
Yeah.
folks.
I'm about ready to do an ice bath right now.
I think so. I think so.
Hey, if we wrap up the show, we can go do an ice bath right now.
What do you think, Val? You think that's a good idea?
Sure.
Yeah, why
right.
not? You know. Hey, thank you, Valour, and all the best, buddy. And we're all rooting for you in your jiu-jitsu tournament. And we know no matter what that you trained so hard and your jiu-jitsu's gotten so much better practicing for this tournament. So we're all really proud of you. I wish I was doing that at 6 years old, buddy. Okay?
We're proud of you, Val.
Yeah.
Hey, Val, why don't you look in the camera and speak into the mic and say, hey, thanks for tuning into the Playa Venao show. Come check us out in a week or so.
Can you do that? Can you end the show for us and say thanks for tuning in? We'll see you in a week.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you in a week.
Good job. See you
All right.
guys.
Hey, thanks, guys.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Nice, Val. That was great, buddy.
Dude, get in, we get out.
Yeah. All right, let me pause this.